So this is another film in a series which I have not seen the original films of. I have never seen Kung Fu Panda 1 or 2 in their entirety. And now I think I need to buy them on Blu-ray. Hello once again, watchers of Good Movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we're going to be talking about the film Kung Fu Panda 3. As I said, I have not seen the other two films in their entirety. I saw snippets of the second one when I was in a drive-in movie theater 5 years ago, and so I hardly remember anything from that. But the nice thing about this movie is that it does not rely a lot on previous knowledge of the other films. Their plot lines don't really seem to have a huge amount of significance. It tells you everything that you need to know in pretty much the first 5 minutes. We have this Kung Fu Panda person who's supposed to be this dragon warrior named Po. He's this clumsy little panda. He has his band of other fighters around him who seem to be more experts than he is, and they fight together under this one little cute little master person, and that's their team, and you don't really need to know much more than that. Jack Black voices Po once again, and he brings such a likability to this character. I could not help but have a smile on my face every time I had this guy on screen, because he's so clumsy. Even in battle, he's just making these witty jokes. He just feels so out of place, and yet he is an expert in what he's doing. He knows how to improvise and uses his environment to his advantage, and it's very cool to see. And I absolutely love the character of Po. He's very likable, and you can't help but root for him in every scene that he's in. Central plot of this film is that from the spirit world we have this ancient evil from 500 years ago, so it's not terribly ancient, but it comes back because collecting the cheese of all these kung fu masters, and he's trying to become the most powerful warrior in the world, something like that. And so he comes back. J.K. Simmons voices this guy, and he does a very good job with the voice acting. I thought he was very menacing-esque as a character. There is one scene in particular which I was very surprised at how dark it seemed to get. It's about 45 minutes in the film, and I'm going to try not to spoil it entirely, but basically Kai, which is the name of the villain, he comes to this temple, this Jade Temple, where the majority of the film seemed to have taken place, and we have all these kung fu warriors, except for Po, who's off at the Panda Village, and he just takes them down one by one by one, and it's such a brutal scene to watch because there's such emotion which is just shown in these characters, especially in the little master guy who seems to have just such this grand history of this place, as he's seen it just be taken down along with his students. And it's such an emotional scene. The music helps to drive that phenomenally, and it was a very powerful scene to watch. And that's another thing that I was surprised about with this film. It's not just a kids movie. It does what I need kids movies to do to keep me entertained. It has these more adult themes. While it is a little bit predictable in regards to kind of how the plot is going to play out with some things, it plays on these very real themes which I really enjoyed seeing. And yeah, that's why Kung Fu Panda 3 is easily one of the best films of the year so far. There's a very good amount of humor in this film. I laughed multiple times throughout it. The animation just looks fantastic as usual. DreamWorks just continues to impress me with their stuff. But what really ended up getting me was the ending, because in the trailer it seems like it's going to be this huge little training movie where we have Po train the pandas to fight against Kai. That happens in the last third of the movie. It's not the central focus, which I loved. It allowed for these characters to become interesting and just see the risks that were being taken by Po in defending this village that he's never had a huge connection to until he discovered it. But the final, I think, like 20 minutes or so are just fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I'm not going to spoil it, but just the ending fight conclusion, it was so cool to watch, and it just fit with the tone of the film, and it didn't have to rely on cheesy things or go into any sort of love story or anything in that regards. This is the third film in a series, possibly the end of a trilogy, and usually films are kind of in their fading out phase at this point. This film just seemed to be just still rocking it out, and is just even better than maybe the first two. I haven't seen the first two, so I can't say. But this film wildly impressed me. I had a ton of fun with Kung Fu Panda 3, and if you've seen the first two, I would assume that you would enjoy this one. I definitely did. Like I said, you don't have to have seen the first two to appreciate this film. I haven't seen them, and I love the movie. So guys, those are my thoughts on Kung Fu Panda 3. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like the film as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.